I am woman phenomenally. Phenomenal woman? That's me, Maya Angelou. Welcome to this segment of the Afrocentrist Podcast, The Woman, Her Story, and Her Impact, where I get to speak to women from across the globe, sharing their stories and how they are impacting their world. Coming to you every Wednesday, 4 p.m. GST. Of course, with your favorite show host, the energetic EJ. So make it a date with me every Wednesday. The Afrocentrist Podcast, proudly African. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Afrocentrist Podcast. I am the energetic EJ, and I'm glad that you're here today again. And today we continue in season 5 on this particular segment, The Woman, Her Story, and Her Impact, where I get to speak to women from all walks of life across the world, sharing their stories and especially how they are currently impacting their world. And today on the show, I have a very, this young lady. Gosh, I heard her story and I'm like, no, the world needs to hear your story on my platform. I'll be honored to have you share on my platform. Her name is Prominent. Let me just quickly read a profile to you before I bring her on. Prominent Ikie is a dogged, resilient, strong-willed, and a go-getter who studied entrepreneurship from the Federal University of Abeokuta, Ogun State, Nigeria, with excellent qualifications from Yali, that's Nelson Mandela Fellowship, and VC4A Academy for Leadership and Business, a humanitarian to the core. She has a heart for God and His kingdom. She is dedicated to helping as many ladies as possible come out of every mental dunghill they might have been in for years through mentorship and her personal stories. She is popularly known as PROM, that is passionate, resilient, optimistic machine. Amazing, amazing profile right there. And you will get to find out if this is true about her or not by the time you hear her story. She's been through, but she has come out like a phoenix, right? Out of the burning fire. She has come out to be this strong-willed young woman who is also helping other young ladies out there to be resilient. And I'm just excited to dive deep into her story. And I hope that you sit tight with me. So now will be a time to grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or a cup of water, whatever works for you, and sit tight as we meet Prominent Ikie. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with my guest.
Are you interested in the training that took me from standing in the mall from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, going home with just 60,000 naira monthly to earning 50,000 naira in just a week? Are you interested in the training that took me from having to sit on this chair Monday to Fridays, leaving my house at 4:30 a.m.? And then taking me to earning 6 figures weekly? This same training brought a second source of income for Daniel, as you can see. And what about Tofumi, who is now happy because he now understands what financial freedom is? I am so excited for what the training has been doing so far for so many people, and this is one of the best decisions you can make even as you go into 2022. Hurry now, sign up right now, join this training now that it's free. Cheers.
All right, guys, my guest is here. Hi, Prominent. How are you?
Hi, Adriel. I am very, very well. I'm so, excited about 2022, and I'm so blessed to be here right now.
Absolutely. And I am really, really, excited and intrigued by your story. And I just want to dive in hey, this woman. Okay. First of all, I love to ask this question a lot. I know I've read your bio, but I like to hear from you again. If I was to ask you who is Prominent, what would you answer be?
All right. So first thing I tell people, Prominent is a passionate, resilient, optimistic machine, which is known as PROM. People love to call me PROM. So when they hear PROM, they're like, what's PROM? So that's an acronym, and I gave those meanings because over time in my life, I've come to discover that actually so resilient, and I'm so optimistic no matter the circumstance, no matter the situation, and I'm passionate about anything that I do. So that's why I named myself Passionate, Resilient, Optimistic Machine, because I actually work like a machine. So I'm also an entrepreneur. I studied entrepreneurship in the Federal University of Abeokuta. I'm an affiliate marketer and I'm an author. I wrote my first book, Unscripted and Unstoppable, last year. So basically, that's a little bit about me here for now.
Okay, that's interesting. Because most times when you ask that question, who are you? Like it's a very difficult question to answer, really. People always answer with what I do.
They answer what they are doing before they even tell you who they are.
Yes. But I like that you carved out, from it. So is Prominent the name your parents named you? Or did you come up with that as life?
I grew up being named Faith.
Faith, okay.
Yes, but along the line, I was like, things were happening, and I told my dad, I'm already a Christian, and faith is a normal, like, it's one criteria every Christian should have. So I don't want to have to answer that name again. That's one. Two, it's too common. I wanted something different. I was like, okay. So I gave him assignments to go and research because he said, I'm not going to bring the name myself. I said, okay. So I have Prominent in mind and a couple of other names, and he did his research. And that's how Prominent came in. Prominent came when I was in GSS1. So I've been answering faith from childbirth, from when I was born up until GSS1.
So at GSS1, that is junior secondary 1 for those who are not in Nigeria watching this. But from GSS1, did you just tell your parents that, you know what, I want to change my name to Prominent? Or did you tell your friends and they started calling you that name and it stuck with you?
Now, I just went to my father straight. I didn't tell my friends because, number one, I hardly had friends because I grew up as a melancholic. So I don't talk to anybody. So that was it.
Okay. So you went to your dad and then did you do a proper change of name, or that was done later on?
Yeah, there's actually a proper change. I did. I was serious about it. It's actually a proper change.
That is interesting.
A proper change.
That is interesting. At GSS1, you were really young then. I like that. So tell us your story because it's so fascinating. What's your story?
Well, I have so many stories actually, but the one of the intriguing and outstanding one I love to share with people is the story of how I was raised and how I went through induced labor and came out of it and still went on in life. So can I dive into it already?
Please go for it.
So, well, let me give a brief. Growing up, actually, I have always been, ambitious. I'm that lady who grew up in an environment where women are not allowed to dream big. When a woman dreams big, it's like a sin. Like my father and I, back then, we always have arguments. Like, why will you be mentioning Colorado Last Pizza? Why will you be mentioning Mufa Washington? No, you can't be like them. Like we have this argument, like for real, like your eyes are too big, stuff like that. So that's the kind of people I had growing up around me, and it was so devastating because there's a fire in me that burns so hot that wants more. But then the environment was just, so horrible. I was not in the village. You don't have to be in the village to have an horrible environment. I grew up in Lagos. I was born and brought up in Lagos. but the people around you tells what your environment is. And another thing that ignited my fire was my mom is the breadwinner of the house. So I was always feeling so sad seeing a woman carrying the load of the house. And I'm like, not like my husband is dead for Christ's sake. Like what kind of love is this? So it really takes because we're five, she pays our school fees, she does so much, she works like a jackass. And I'm like, Lord have mercy. So that was actually what propelled me to going out there at the age of 15 when I finished my secondary school. I went out of my father's house to look for jobs, to look for something to do because I felt I needed to reduce the burden on her. So I started, doing all kinds of jobs from office clerk to secretary to, shop attendant, house girl. I was just taking all different kind of legal jobs as I could. And fast forward, I got admission into the university. So the money I had worked and saved up, I was able to, give my mom, and then she added to it. And I started schooling. I did the degree first. And, even while in school, I was also doing different kinds of businesses. Like I was in cooking business, printing business. I shuffle Lagos and Abeokuta where I could almost every week. That was how I was living my life. Not because I don't have parents, but because I see the loads that is being carried. And I look at our numbers and I'm like, if I have to be human, I can't allow this happen. Like I can't just be one person. Do you understand? So all these things they bring in my head every time and pushes me to go out and do more, especially for the fact that I don't even have people around me telling me, okay, do this. I don't have people showing me opportunities. I'm the one that go out to look for opportunities myself. So this was a propelling force for me. So along the line, I, when I during breaks, like when there is break or after strike, you see, it doesn't waste for me. There is no waste because immediately there is a strike, man, I'm looking out for a job, looking out for an opening and food. I'm there, volunteering. I'm there. I'm always doing something. You can never catch me idle. Always doing something. So there was one ordeal I had where I was working and then I was raped. Like this is the saddest of all of my stories. The
At
remaining
work?
account, not even at work. So where you have this get together, like the way they do um end of the year party and all of that. So I have this boss who was actually, chasing after me, trying to ask me out. And I think that is so common in Nigeria. I don't know why. So I had to, give my stand because one thing about me is I don't compromise. If I were to be compromising, I would have blown this. So I don't compromise. I always ensure that if it's not something worth doing, I don't do it at all. Not to talk of a married man, no, it's absurd for me. So taking it further, in that event, event that was organized, I was drugged, but never knew. That was where I learned my very first lesson of, how you have to be very careful when you're in a gathering, especially if you're a lady. You have to be extremely careful. And I just felt okay. The people around there, my co-workers, like we are working together. I never have any, bad wish for anyone. And then I drank and believe you me, the next thing is I found myself in a room. found myself in a room and I saw that I have just been, raped. Something has happened to me. It felt so bad. Like, what am I going to do? What am I even going to tell? My father is a pastor.
Oh my
And
God.
he has been against me even working because left to him, I'm too ambitious. Left to him, I'm too ambitious and I'm just too, it feels like I'm just too ambitious. That's the energy he gives. So now bringing this kind of thing to him is like, oh, you know how my African parents can be. Hey, we've been telling you,
What you were looking for is what you are looking for
now
that
you've
you've
gotten
seen.
it.
Oh
So
God.
that fear. So immediately I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to check myself, and if just to confirm, I'm sure that nothing is wrong with me, that I'm okay and I'm all right. I did that, and it was successful. So as time went on, I couldn't, just help it for so long, and I had to tell a friend of
But
mine.
let me just quickly ask this there. So were you aware of the person who did this? Because you were drugged.
Yes.
Okay.
I got to know who did it because number one, I already had a suspect. I mentioned my boss earlier, so that's already a suspect for me. And I'll come to that point. So when I told my friend, and she told me that, wow, I should tell my parents because my mom is a nurse. So there'll be other things that we do to get it checking. So when I told my parents, they were very disappointed and a lot of things and all that. And at that point in time, I learned a lot of things though. At that point in time, it was now even more difficult because I didn't report the situation immediately. That already passed 24 hours. Because I heard there is a law that says if you don't report the incident immediately, there will be a lot of, and okay, so now I have the what do I call it, evidences. Like I have people that I can call. So they question so many people, and it pointed down to who I actually suspected, because that was the person that could actually come to my mind, because that's the person who has been disturbing me and trying to. But because of the money I was trying to get from there, I was like, okay, let me just chill and keep refusing, and when school resumes, I'll be out. But money took over. When they found the culprit, the story changed. The story turned around. In fact, that was what increased my passion for looking for money. That was what increased my passion for trying to make the money of my own, because my parents did not have the money to push to go that far. So this man turned the whole story around, and then the case died. That was how the case went. And that really grieved me so much. And I think that was not enough. I later got to discover that I was now 5 months pregnant.
Oh my God.
5 good months pregnant. Like, Jesus. And in fact, how did I get to know? I told you we've done, checks. My mom is enough to check me. Like, I'm okay. How I got to know was one day I was cleaning, because I said I used to be a house girl. So I was cleaning in one of the houses. I went to work, and before I knew what happened, I slumped. When I slumped, I was taken to the hospital.
That was when they found out. Oh my God.
I'm telling you, going to the hospital to like, oh, let's check her blood, let's check her this. And then the next thing you're getting to find out that she's 5 months pregnant. And when I looked at my doctor, congratulations. I said, congratulations.
Congrats what?
I was like, what? You don't mean it. Like, you must be joking. See, I've never been dumbfounded like that in my life. I've had a lot of experiences, but that experience is the most terrible experience I've ever had so far. And man, taking that news to my parents is another devastating news. Well, I had to tell them, like, I was confused. I wanted to run away. I wanted to disappear. Father is a pastor. What is reputation? All of those things. Man, I'm not married. Like there's so many things around it. I had to tell my mom. My mom told my dad. And before you knew what, in fact, it was as if my brain collapsed. Like I couldn't think. I was numb. I couldn't think. I couldn't make decisions. I couldn't think of anything. Like they were all around discussing what to do. I was just numb. I was just numb. At some point, I'm like, let me just have a child. After all, child, they say children are blessings from God. But on the other side, how we have a child who the father is not somebody who even wants to, have a life with, or someone who is even married. Then, so as it went on, my parents came to a conclusion, to a resolution that I was going to take it out. So, in the process of seeking advice on how to take it, because it's already 5 months, baby is already getting formed.
That's a lot. Yeah, it's already
I
formed.
just do it anyhow. How do you do it that there won't be complications? So they got an expert to advise them that the way to do it is to induce labor. Someone who has given birth before knows what I'm talking about. Induced labor. You know how you went through labor to give birth to the
Oh
child
my
that you have.
God.
The induced labor, and I was in labor for 42 hours. 42 hours. I can never forget 23rd of May, 2020. I can never. The
Oh
date is so fresh
Lord.
in my head because that night was the night I thought I was going to die. I thought
Oh my
I thought I was going
God.
to die because the pain was excruciating.
Oh,
I couldn't, the baby was not coming out. Like the labor was just going on and on. The nurses had even left me because they were like,
oh,
anytime it's ready to come because they got tired. The doctor had even gone home because
wow.
it was taking too long than they expected. But as I just laid on the bed, it got to a point I just laid on the bed and I just told God, God, whatever you want to do with my life, just do it. Just do it this very moment. And I was just playing songs, and before I knew what the baby came out dead, because they've already increased a lot of things. So the baby came out dead, and that was it. And I now had to face depression part two
Wow.
of knowing that you were pregnant and then you just lose the baby and you have to go through induced labor. Like, how is all this? How do they add up?
Happening
Like,
all at once. My God.
president, the vice president in my department, I have so many ladies that look up to me, talking to me. I'm like, now look at me. What story am I going to tell? What's going to be the story of my life? That because I was trying to make a living, or because I was trying to be dogged, then I ended up. And some people don't even tell the story that way. Some people say, she actually went to sleep with a man because she's looking for, you
Money.
know, different things. But after that whole process, when I came home, I was so traumatized. In my sleep, I see the baby, I see the whole
Oh,
process. It was very, very tormenting for me, and I was praying to God to really help me and just there. And that fire in me, if there's anything I'm grateful for in my life, is that no matter the circumstance I get to have, even when I feel like dying, even when I feel like it's over, the moment I'm done crying, the moment I'm done weeping, that fire comes
it's
back.
still burning.
It comes back and tells me, Prominent, this is not the end for you. This is not the end for you. And so when that fire came, I told myself, I'm going to get another job. Because mind you, I just came out, my parents were like, you're never ever going to work. If you even want to work, then you are going to go to one school in the neighborhood where they'll pay you 12,000 naira or 50,000 naira. I'm like, hey, That's not what I want. That's the kind of life I want. I want something better than that. So I took my bag and I went to Ekpe, a place I've never been to before, because I needed to be away from the
From
noise,
the environment that,
from the reaction that I was getting, because I became the topic of discussion in the family. Family members started discussing my matter. I became public news. So that is why today I'm not even ashamed sharing this with anybody.
because they're going to share their versions anyways. So you better share the truth.
I'm telling you, because it now looked like I had a stigma. Like it was just that, like the reaction, everything. I was like, no. I don't need this. I don't need that. I was so disappointed and heartbroken. So I went straight to Efe. And right in Efe, I got a job as a digital marketer. I was just doing that so that I can, regain myself, because I needed to engage my mind, I will not just be having thoughts. That's one way I recommend things for people. While you are going to therapy, you also need to engage your mind.
Your mind is something else.
The mind is very, very, very important.
It's powerful.
And thoughts can just, play you somehow, and you start, falling for it again. So I worked there as a digital marketer in a firm, and for 2 months, after 2 months, I now told myself, okay, Prominent, I think you're good now to go back to Lagos and continue your life. And that was exactly what I did. And right there, after that experience, I told myself, I'm never going to settle for less. I would rather even go for more. I would be more careful, yes, because of the society we live in, but giving up is out of it.
It's not an option.
Right in the moment, yes, I feel like giving up. Like, if as I'm doing this live session with you right now, yesterday I got a very sad news that could break me and just say, oh my God, I need to just shut down.
I'm done. Let me just shut it all down.
Throughout the night, I didn't even sleep. I was just, talking to God and trying to understand what's actually going on. But one thing I've come to discover is there are certain kinds of pain that people go through that's not majorly for them, but for people out there, for some people out there, because there are some people that they've not even, gone through half of what I'm talking about, and then they just want to they just want to close their life. But when they hear stories like this, it makes them know that no matter what you've been through, no matter what you are going through, there is still something great for you. There is still something great for you. Today, my parents, they send me messages, they love my work, they love what I'm doing, this and that. And I'm like, imagine if I just, stayed there and said, okay, I want to be doing a job.
And gave yourself a verdict.
Like today, they can't even regard me as anything, because by this grace of God, I'm coming out from that shame that they called me, that they said I brought, and my story is changing. It has already changed actually. It's already changing, because my book Unscripted and Unstoppable, I was praying to God one day, and then He dropped that title in my spirit, Unscripted and Unstoppable. Because in life, people go through things that they never imagined will happen to them.
Yes.
That's why it's unscripted. Because, see, I am a very serious church girl. Like, I'm that girl that young girls look up to. I'm that girl that they feel she's intelligent and hot. I'm that girl that you could never ever imagine that can happen to. I'm that girl that you can never. But hello, life happens. And this is it. Life happens to so many people too.
Yeah.
And because of that, they just give up. It's one thing for you to get yourself into trouble, fall in a mistake. It's another thing for you to, have a situation that you never planned for, a situation that you never
Yeah.
imagined. Like if a prophet even tells you that you're going to, you say it's a lie.
You
You
say
will
that's
make
not my
out pretend
portion.
that
Mm.
exactly. So after going through that, I had to come to this point that see, no matter what, you are unstoppable, and that was what brought about the title. You are
Absolutely.
unstoppable, no matter what the situation is. Whenever I'm talking like this, people are always feeling like, she's just talking. See, I'm
They
not
can't
just talking.
know. They
I'm
cannot
not just
understand.
talking. I've been in different phases because my life started very early. I was exposed to the world very early. So there are some things I've even seen that some old persons have not seen, have not experienced. So, like they say, experience, not about age. No, it's not about age, really. I tell you, I started working since I was 15 years old.
Mm.
So, it's not, apart from menial jobs, I've done corporate jobs whereby people even thought I was a graduate when I was doing it. I used to interview graduates
Mm.
then. So
Mm.
that's why today I'm an affiliate marketer, and I never ever want to go back to 9 to 5 job in my life because I've
Yeah.
seen things, I've seen things, I've seen what's going on in the corporate world. I've seen how people do stuff just to keep their job. So whenever
Mm.
I'm talking like this, people are always like, I own is too much. But then I'm just saying this so that people can know that no matter the situation, no matter what you've gone through, if you're ready to rewrite your story, it is
You
possible.
can.
And
Woo!
nobody can stop you. Nobody. When I say nobody, nobody can stop you from
Except
rewriting
you.
your story. Yes, you are the only one that will choose to say, okay, because it has happened, then it's the end of the
This is the
world.
end. Mm.
But if you are ready and you tell yourself, I'm going to go again, trust
Woo!
me, you are unstoppable, really. You're unstoppable. So,
Absolutely.
like I
Wow.
said, this is just one of the many stories that God has
Stories. I know.
allowed me to share. You understand? So
Mm. So
that's all
how
for
how
me.
do you now, you mentioned something when you were talking, like now your parents are reaching out to you and say, we love your work, we love what you do. What exactly do you do now? How are you impacting your world right now? I mean, it's a
Well,
no-brainer that first of all, your story, just sharing alone is enough to change the world for somebody, knowing that, oh my God, you can pick up your life from wherever it is, no matter how bad it is right now, and rewrite your story. But how else are you currently impacting your world?
well, another one I'm impacting my world is, by teaching people how to make money. Because
Genge.
if you are not making money, all your story na shambles. Permit me. A lot of people have stories to tell, but nobody is ready to even listen to their story right now because where they are financially, nobody's ready to listen to them.
Mm.
Nobody's ready to listen to them. So, as a matter of fact, I would say since I started my affiliate marketing journey, my impact has grown more than before. I'm telling you,
Mm.
people who don't even want to listen to me before. The fact that now they see that I teach people how to make money through their smartphones and data online, they now listen to me. And that way, people are also getting their financial freedom because
Mm.
this is 90% of what people chase. 90% of what people chase in their life is finances, how to make money. And that is why you see some ladies, they will compromise, they will sleep with a man that they're not supposed to sleep with, they will do just they're not supposed to do. So right now, I'm helping people, by renewing their minds, re-engineering their minds, and at the same time, teaching them how to make money for themselves.
Mm. How do you do this?
Okay, so what I do is I sell digital products. Okay, so when I make a sale of a digital product, for instance, that is worth 50,000 naira, I get a commission of 25,000 naira. That's 50% commission. That's just one
Mm.
product. There are over 47 products, and I sell 8 products actually.
Mm.
So this is how I do it. I ensure that I give out value to my prospects and everybody around me. I reach out through the social media and meetings, and whenever I get to meet people, I do this and they come to me. I educate them before they make their decision on starting out. And that's just
Mm.
about it.
Fantastic. I love it. I know somebody's watching. Your story alone is enough. Okay. Wait. This lady has gone through this and now she's teaching people how to make money. I want to learn. If people want to follow your works and say, okay, how do you really teach people? Please come and teach me because I need to make money. I don't want anybody to cheat me out of my rights because I do not have money. How would they be able to contact you or to follow what you do?
Simple. You can click, you can go to my Instagram or Facebook. There's a link in my bio. Once you click the link in my bio, you will see different options. So you just click on the option that says connect with me on WhatsApp or connect with me. You love to learn affiliate marketing, and straight up you are in my WhatsApp. And we go from there.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Prominent, for being the resilient
Thank
woman that
you.
you are. I know are you even up to 30?
No, that's actually, that's some people's problem. Some people's problem right now is that I'm not up to 30 years old and
So what
I'm
can you
doing this.
teach
So
me?
some people are like, exactly, like, who are you? I mean, this girl. I even thought you are like 30 or
Like,
31. And
you
I'm
don't
like,
know
no,
life.
sir.
You don't know life.
It's
But
either you
like
are
you
ready
said,
or you are not ready.
it's not by age, guys. Don't let age
It's
deceive
not.
you.
It's
So the
not at
pain
all.
that Prominent has gone through, some people who are over 50 have not even seen anything. They've had life a little bit easy, right? So it's not by
Yes.
age. You can hear her speak like she went through the pain. She cannot even articulate the pain in her words, but she knows
Honestly,
what
when
the
I'm
pain
talking
did.
about it, I lose
She
my
knows what the
articulation.
pain, she knows what the pain did to her and how she has come out of it from here. She has won the battle here. And that's why she's able to
Yeah.
stand today to share, not only to share her story, but also to help people out of their own, down moment or places that life has dealt them a heavy blow, and also teaching them how to earn, so that at
Yeah.
least you have it right in your finances. Amazing work you're doing, Prominent. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
very
for being
much.
a strong woman. And I pray that this is the least you ever be, upward,
Amen.
ever. That's your case.
Amen.
Thank you for being strong
Amen.
to share your story, because
Thank
a lot
you.
of people are paralyzed. They've been,
Yes.
just shut down because of the things that happen to them. And some people don't even know how to own their stories, to share it. And they don't know that even the process of sharing is healing.
It helps.
Because the more you
Yes.
share, you heal, because now that story does not have any power over you anymore.
Exactly.
And the funny thing is, as I speak to you right now, I speak to myself. I have, stories that like, no,
You feel
I'm
like,
not
no,
ready.
the world should not hear this. Like, no, it's not for the public. You don't want people looking at you like, do you know there was a time they said, I will not have husband to marry again if I write that in my book? I'm like, really? I said, man, any man that's not going to marry me, no problem.
He's the one that is losing. They are lost. Serious. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to have you on the show today. Thank you guys for listening. I really hope that you learned one or two things from Prominent's story today. And if you'd like to reach out to her, I'm going to leave all the links to her social media handle so that you can connect with her and follow her work. She's amazing. And I just love her strength. And if you're a young lady watching this right now and you've gone through terrible experiences that have just shut you down, I feel your pain, girl. I feel your pain, woman. I know what it feels like to be ashamed, to be guilty, to blame yourself for what life has done to you. I know what it feels like. Prominent here knows what it feels like. And we're both telling you that you don't have to end your story in that situation. The fact that you're still breathing means that it is not the end of the story. So please, you have the power to rewrite your story. And if you're not sure how to go about it, You can reach out to me or you can reach out to Prominent. Connect with her, share your story, tell her how you're feeling, and she's going to be able to help you to come out of that and share your story. Even if you're not ready to share it to the world, sometimes just sharing to one person who would not judge you, who would just listen, who would feel your pain, it would help with your healing. So don't stay silent. Don't be quiet. You're not the only one who has gone through it. Girl, I kid you not, you are not the only one who has gone through it. Others have gone through it and they've come out. And you can surely come out as well. So if you need help coming out of that hole, coming out of that place where guilt and shame is holding you down, please reach out today. And I know that with the help of God and help of the experts that we have around us, we'll be able to help you out with your story as well. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having this session. Till I come your way again next week, next time, with another phenomenal woman, with another amazing woman, with another story to inspire you, to let you know that you have everything on your inside to take you to that peak, to that place that you've always dreamt of being. This is me, the energetic EJ, signing out and saying I love you, like from the depth of my heart, okay? And I'm going to see you next time. Bye.